What's shaking, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shay. Today it is June the 1st. It is the start of a new month and a new reading vlog. And today is the start of the amazing readathon. I'm super excited to be participating. I had so much FOMO last year for not participating, so I wanted to make sure that I participated this year. And so I am on Team Fantasy. And the first place we're going to Toronto, and we have to pick a book that we did not pay for. So basically utilizing the library, which I think is a great deal. We love our libraries, or a book that was gifted to us. Now I looked at my January TBR and all the books that I pulled from there, and really I'm in the mood for an audiobook, and I did not have a book that was available to me from the library from the audiobook. So we can't use a service like KU or something like that, a subscription service that we pay for, so I had to use the library. And so what I decided to do is to dip my hand into fantasy romance a little bit. I started to read A Court is Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark, and this actually, when I complete it, will not only give my team points, but it will also earn me 100 currency because it is a host favorite. It is one of Cassidy's favorites from the channel Covers with Cassidy. So I'm super excited. I am about 25% into the book. I'm enjoying my time. I really, really am. I feel like going into a fantasy romance, I'm a little hesitant. I haven't liked a lot of fantasy romances in the past because either we're very heavy on the romance and light on the fantasy, or heavy on the fantasy, light on the romance. I feel like this is a great blend of the two genres. I also feel like the romance is good and the fantasy is good, which is also hard for me to find in fantasy romance. So this is a story where people basically sacrifice their powers to the gods when they are very, very young, when they're babies. And then when they turn 25, they go through the ceremony and they get their powers back from the gods. So they have to sacrifice. And if they don't sacrifice and they keep their powers, that's illegal. Basically, you are killed. So our main character obviously did not sacrifice her power to the gods when she was a child for some odd reason. We don't know, but she did not do this. And so it's getting very close to her birthday, and she is afraid every day of being found out that she has these powers. And of course, you know what is going to happen. You know what is going to happen. They are going to find out that she has some powers, so she has to go on the run. And so that's kind of where we are, and she has been dreaming of this man, and a man she has never met. And then she sees this man on the road and realizes it's the man from her dreams, and so she's trying to figure out what this man has to do with her dreams, etc. I don't want to go into a lot of the plot. I think that in books it's so very important to go in kind of blind so that you don't kind of ruin the magic of the story. So I'm super excited about reading this. I'm happy that it's coming off to a really great start, and I'm going to keep reading. I didn't want to start another series. I even looked at all my sequels to see if I could find them at the library, but I couldn't find them available on audio at the current moment. So that led me to having to pick another book and another series. So I'm going to keep reading this, and I will see you guys when I get a little bit further into the book. Okay, so let's talk about This Court So Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark. I finished it. I'm going to give it 3 stars, and the reason for this is, number one, I felt like this read a lot more YA. The writing style just didn't all the way gel with me. I do think it was a very, very fun popcorn read, but again, we still have our same issues where the fantasy and the romance, they're all kind of not perfect for me, and so it's going to be very, very difficult to find a fantasy romance that I truly love, I think, because I feel like they have to have equal parts great fantasy and equal parts great romance. So the romance in this story is not really one that I immediately love, because this is not a very slow burn romance. It's a very, I meet you and immediately I'm lusting after you, and then things happen, I like a little bit more angsty, a little bit more build up to my romances, and I did like the fantasy portions of this. I like the political portions of this book. I just really feel like it was a popcorn read, and it's what I needed in the moment. So I gave it 3 stars, but overall I really did enjoy it. I do plan to continue on in the series. When that will be, I don't know. So I have made it. I have made it to Toronto in the amazing readathon. I have made it, and I think I came by train because I didn't spend any money, but I did earn $100 because of GRC, the currency for the Amazing Readathon, because this was a favorite of Cassidy, so that gave me $100. So I don't know how many points this actually gave me. I'll put it here on the screen, but I'm super excited to now probably do some sightseeing because I don't know when the next prompt will drop. But I think I may want to get a short little book that's not going to take me very long to read in before our next destination comes about. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of time to read, during the weeks because of work. However, I did take 2 days off of work this week. So I am like loving this week because it's my birthday week. So I'm going to have some time. I took off Thursday, Friday off of work. So I'm going to have some time there. But okay, overall, I will catch you guys when I decide what I'm going to read next. I have no idea, but I will figure it out and see you when I see you. It's Tuesday. Let me tell you how things are kind of going. So I read, in the meantime, I read Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. I got into this thing in my head where I really wanted to continue on in series. Like, I really feel like I'm getting kind of like tingly in my body about how many series I have open. So I decided to, in the Amazing Readathon, while I'm waiting for my prompt to drop, let's get a series completed. Let's catch up on something. So I decided to make my heart happy and read Heartstopper Volume 5. There's going to be a Volume 6. Don't know when it's going to come out, but Volume 5 is out, and I needed to read it to catch up. Thought it was super cute. Love Heartstopper. Have not seen the TV show, but I really do need to watch that. But again, it was more cuteness of Nick and Charlie. So then, prompt still hadn't dropped. So I was like, okay, well, I need to do some more sightseeing prompts. So let's see if there's another kind of sequel that I can read that's really easy. I can get through it. So I picked up Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun, which is the third in the Finlay Donovan series. The fourth one is out. The fifth one comes out soon, but this is the third one. And I hear that people don't like this one as much. I'm 50% into it. And it's the same. It's the same quirky, funny Finlay Donovan, which I like. I just don't like the mystery kind of plot in this one. I do think that at some point these books are going to get redundant. They're going to get very, there are only so many murder things that make sense for this woman to go through, or elsewise it's just really outrageous, and I think that's what it's become. But I still find the humor in it to be jiving with me, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm 50% into Finlay Donovan, and then we got another city to go to while I was 50% into Finlay Donovan. So I'm still 50%, but we got this other city we're going to. We're going to Argentina. And Buenos Aires, and the prompt is, we have to choose a book that has exactly 2 POVs. Now, it's very, very difficult to figure out a book that has exactly 2 POVs. Not above 2 POVs, not 1 POV, not 3 POVs, 4, 5 POVs, 2 POVs. So a lot of this is romance books. Great, fantastic. That's going to be hard to do, but I'm going to figure it out. And then we got the little, in the fantasy team, we got the little ding, ding, ding. Guess what? You guys are in last place. And now, not only do you have to find one book that you want to read that only has 2 POVs, but you have to find 6 of them. 6 of them. And really you're supposed to roll a dice and then it's randomly chosen. Well, I don't have a dice. So I do have a spinner wheel here, which I'll pop up here. I'm just not even going to record this. I'm just going to pop it up. Listen, about these dual POVs. It's very difficult. So if these don't have dual POVs, if I get into it and it doesn't have dual POVs, I'm just I'm going to do something about it. I don't know. But here's how I came up with it. So just for the summer, which was on my, I pulled it out of my jars in June. It has dual POV. It's a romance by Abby Jimenez. City of Mages, I also pulled out of my jar, which I think it has 2 POVs. Hopefully so. Put Me in Detention has dual POVs, which I pulled out of my jars. Rain and Ruin also has dual POVs, which I pulled out of my jars. Hopefully. Love Light Farms does as well. So there were 5 books that I pulled out that I think have dual POVs. And then I put The Fine Print by Lauren Asher on here, which is a romance book I'm not really that super interested in, but let's hope we don't get it. If we do, just jokes on me. But it's one that I have access to audio and one that I know is dual POV. So not much fantasy getting read here, really. So we're going to get our wheel up, and I'm going to just kind of show you. Just for the summer! Yes! Yes! I could not be more excited. This is the one that I wanted, and I got it. And y'all, I have been meaning to read this since it came out, and I am super excited. super excited. Could not be more excited. I am going to purchase the audiobook. I'm going to listen to the audiobook. This is my life. You know, it's my birthday today. So the gods have shined down on me and they have said, hey, Shay, here's a book that you really want to read. So I'm going to let you read it. Happy birthday. Okay. I'm going to continue to read. I'm going to read Just for the Summer, and I'm going to continue to read Finlay Donovan as well. So we're going to kind of be doing it. These are both easy, very quick, easy reads that I think I can get through pretty quickly, and I'll pop back in when I get further in. I do feel like I want to fit some sequels in this month for some odd reason. Like, I'm just starting to get kind of, I got too many sequels going, and then I'm continuing to add on to that as I read more series. But that's all, and I will check back in with you guys later. Okay, I'm back. I'm off of work, and it's Thursday, and I'm having a great time, and I finished Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. So everybody's giving this book 5 stars. I understand why. However, I'm going to give this one 4 stars. Why I did love it. I love Miss Abby Jimenez. I read this, you know, so close together from Funny Story, and I loved Funny Story so much more than this particular book. I know, shoot me, but this lands 4 stars, and I think a lot of the reason why it lands 4 stars for me is just because some of the things that occurred in here to me were a little bit cringe, as my dog shakes behind me, were a little bit cringe to me. But I did like the romance. I'm more of a slow burn romance. I think I've said this before. I'm not much of a, you know, let's start dating and I like you immediately kind of person. I'm more of a very slow burn kind of gal, and that's not particularly what this is. If you don't know what this book is about, we are following our 2 main characters who have the unlucky thing happening to them where every time they date a person and then they break up with said person, the person they break up with finds the love of their life after they break up. So they come up with this plan that they will date for a little while and then they'll break up, and then they will both find their soulmates after they break up, and of course it goes from there. Of course they're gonna fall in love. That's no shocker. But I did really enjoy this one. Abby Jimenez does have a lot of kind of hard-hitting topics in her romances, so I would, if you need triggers, check your trigger warnings for this one. But overall, 4 stars. Really liked it. Still reading Finlay Donovan. I'm still 50% in. Haven't picked it up again because I've been reading it just for the summer, so I can make it to Buenos Aires. I did take a plane for this, so I get double points for this particular book. I'm trying to help the fantasy team not to be in last place again. I also did the detour for 200 points, which was, we shouted out our favorite local indie bookstore or our library on social media, which I did on Twitter, the X, whatever it is. And so I did that, and now I'm going to get back to reading Finlay Donovan. Hope to finish that today. Don't know when the next kind of city is going to drop. I suspect it will be later today or maybe tomorrow, and then I will pick something else to read. But I'm enjoying my time this month, and I'm finding some really good books to read, and I will catch you guys when I get a little bit more further into Finlay Donovan, and I can tell you more about my thoughts and feelings probably when I finish it. So I finished Finlay Donovan, Jumps the Gun, and I had such a thoroughly good time with this. I heard a lot of bad reviews, and I know it's because the more we get into Finlay, like I said earlier, the more absurd it kind of gets, because how long can this go on? But overall, I just really find these books to be very, very, very entertaining reads. So I'm very happy with the way my reading week has gone. A prompt did not drop today. I'm expecting a prompt to drop tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on with the sightseeing prompts, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up another sequel. Now, when I'm feeling good about continuing on with series this month. I have now continued on 2 series. I caught up with Heartstopper, and I read another Finlay Donovan, so I have one more to catch up on that one. And so I think I counted today how many open series I had ongoing, and as you know, I'm constantly starting series and just not doing a grand job of completing them. But I have like 37 in progress series that have the next books out, and I just haven't read them. So I want to actively be trying to read those series. So what I'm going to do is, for the sightseeing prompts, I'm going to try to keep fitting in kind of sequels. And for the main prompts, I will fit in other books that I want to read. With that being said, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to complete a series off my list. I'm going to check it off the list, and I'm going to read Master of Iron by Trisha Levenseller, which is the second book in the duology that starts with Blade of Secrets. I enjoyed Blade of Secrets when I read it. It's a YA kind of fantasy duology, which I don't typically read anymore. I did like the political world in the story. I contemplated not continuing on. However, I really do want to kind of see how the story wraps up. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to read that. It's available at my library on audio right now. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll check in when I get a little into the book and I can tell you my thoughts and feelings on Master of Iron. Okay, so Master of Iron, I'm 50% into, and I'm really enjoying my time. I do think that, again, I think I've said before when I read the first one, that some of this stuff is just unbelievable. You have to suspend your imagination a lot, but it's a great popcorn kind of fantasy read, and it's an easy read. So I am still enjoying it. If you don't know what this book is about, this is about a bladesmith who has the ability to place magic in the weapons that she forges. One day, somebody asks her to forge a magical weapon, and she accidentally makes this weapon be able to actually tell people's thoughts or secrets. And so when she wields it, she can hear what they're thinking. And the woman comes to pick up the weapon, and she hears her thoughts that she's going to actually use the weapon to basically take over the kingdom and kill a bunch of people. And so she cannot have that on her conscience, so she flees the village, and she is on the run from these people as they are trying to catch her, and that's where the story starts. But again, it is a fantasy romance. I am enjoying the romance. It's fine. I just think this is like a popcorn read, and it has anxiety representation in it, and I'm enjoying my time. I am gonna continue to read this book until I am done. So I have a few more hours left, but the next prompt dropped in the Amazing Readathon. And I may be making a life choice here. I may be making a very life choice. But the prompt was to read a book with a sort of movement or action in the title. So, and Fantasy Team did not come last. Did not come last this time, so we didn't have to take some kind of punishment. However, I feel like I'm punishing myself. But I feel like I want to read this. It's time to read this. I need to get it done, and even though it's an intimidating read, I think I'm going to do it. And that is going to be in lieu of me reading all these sequels, to finally pick up The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, because I can hunt. Hunt is an action, and it's a movement. Of course, I'm moving to be able to hunt. So this is what I'm going to read. This audiobook is like 26 hours, so I don't know, but it's time. I read The Eye of the World in January, and now it's June. So I want to continue on. I want to see what is going to happen to my characters in here. I gave The Eye of the World 5 stars. I'm going to read this. This will be the last book of this particular vlog, but I'll pop back in when I get a few moments in. I am going to again finish Master of Iron today, and then move right on into The Great Hunt. So should be some fantastic times. I'll check in later. Editing Shay here because I realized I never filmed my final thoughts on Master of Iron, and I have to tell you that I actually really enjoyed the second book over the first book. I did think it wrapped up a little bit too quickly, but overall I gave this one a 4-star read. I think it's a great fan row YA story, so if you're looking for that kind of popcorn read, I think you would have fun with this. It's Saturday night, and I just want to quickly check in on my progress of The Great Hunt, and I am 50% into this. And you know, if you don't know, I gave Eye of the World 5 stars. This one is so good, and this also may be a 5-star read. Who knows? I'm halfway in. I just wanted to check in and say that I'm just having a great time with this book. I'm back with these characters that I love, and even when the kind of pace is a little bit slower, I'm still getting to know these characters. I'm getting to be with these characters, and that is just fine by me. I am finding the pace a little bit faster than the first one, and that's because, you know, the first book was a lot of setup, and there was some traveling, lots of traveling in there, but I am enjoying my time here with this one, and I'm hoping to read a little bit more tonight so that I can get over halfway, and so maybe I can finish this on Sunday. That's the check-in, and I will let you know when I get done. Okay, so I have now finished The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. I kind of got mad because the new prompt dropped when I had 23 pages left of this book. So I didn't make it to Berlin in a timely manner. Okay, I actually had 23 pages left. But I loved this book, and it's a 5 stars. I am thoroughly enjoying my time through the Wheel of Time. I did immersion read this. I love these floppy paperbacks because as I'm listening to the audio, like, flop is real. And so I think I like these editions. I think the other ones are smaller and not as floppy. So I think I'm going to buy the rest of the series in these editions. I only owned the first two of these. The ones they make now come with the big Amazon sticker on it, which I'm going to try to find used copies without the Amazon sticker on it, so we're going to see how that goes. But thoroughly enjoying my way through the Wheel of Time. I'm loving these characters, even though sometimes they're like your children, like you just want to squeeze their necks a little bit. But overall, I'm enjoying my time with the series. Granted, I know there's a slog. It's coming at some point, but it's not now, and I'm enjoying my time. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this vlog up now that I have finally made it to Berlin, and I will catch you guys in the next one.